You look like you just got off a lawnmower, Sergio. What? What is up with that shirt? What is that?
That was my sponsor at the time, Lumber Liquidators. They paid me $15,000 to wear that shirt, so shut up, man.
Damn, they'd have given you 20 if you kept the sleeves on. Hello and welcome to Saturday Fight Live. My name is Todd Grisham, and 10 years ago this summer, it was that man on the right of your screen, Sugar Shane Mosley, taking on the Latin Snake, Sergio Mora. There he is. Sergio, let's crack open a beer and watch this great fight. Here's to you, kid.
Salud. Salud, Todd. Good to see you.
So what's your mindset going into what? Was this the biggest fight of your career at this moment?
No. You know, I think the most important fight of my career was a contender finale. And Vernon Forrest was a dangerous fight. This is maybe one of my most dangerous fights, but no, I was really confident for this fight. It was my third fight at junior middleweight. I only had 3 fights at 154. This was the third and last. Very hard for me to make that weight.
Yeah, well, you didn't make weight for this fight, correct?
Yeah, and it cost me 20% of my purse.
So how much cash was that?
It was over 75,000. Man, it was a lot. I don't even want to bring up numbers. It was a lot of money, but it cost me. And you know, I still dispute that because a lot of the fighters were overweight on the opponent's side. Vivian Harris, who fought Victor Ortiz, overweight. Carlos Baldomir, who fought Canelo, overweight. Shane Mosley came in at the highest of his career at 154 on the button, and I came in at 3 pounds overweight when I was on weight for 2 weeks before that. So I think that scale was off. And another thing, I disappeared for about 20 minutes, and I came back and I made the weight. So I'm positive I didn't lose 3.5 pounds in 20 minutes. So I don't know.
I counted at least 8 different excuses in one sentence. Plus, you backed the bus over 3 or 4 other fighters while you're doing it, bro. It's been a decade, right? You don't care. All I know is if you put that 75K you surrendered into like a checking account, at 10%, you'd have $250,000 in the bank right now. Instead, you're living in a double wide in Sedona, California, wherever the hell you are.
Hey, listen. It's not about the money; it's about the principle. But I wasn't overweight, and yes, anytime you're dealing with a fighter that every time you deal with a fighter that came up short in a fight, this was a draw. You're talking about a loss, but it felt like a loss. We always have excuses. Makes us feel better.
All right, and there you look like you just got off a lawnmower, Sergio. What is up with that shirt? What is that?
That was my sponsor at the time, Lumber Liquidators. They paid me $15,000 to wear that shirt, so shut up, man.
Damn, they'd have given you 20 if you kept the sleeves on.
I also wore a patch.
Hey, it's got to be a little bit surreal looking across the ring and seeing that legend right there.
Of course, man, but I also fought another legend that actually beat this legend in Vernon Forrest. So, you know, standing across a legend and a Hall of Famer wasn't new. So, yeah, this was just another one.
So just to update people, you had beaten Vernon Forrest in an upset, won a world title, great moment in your career. You lost the rematch by decision. You come back after that, you beat Calvin Green, and then you step into this fight at the Staples Center near your hometown. This place was buzzing, especially considering Canelo Alvarez had gotten a knockout earlier on this card.
No, everyone got knockouts on the undercard. Carlos Baldomir, who fought Victor Ortiz, got knocked out. I'm sorry, Canelo knocked out Carlos Baldomir. Vivian Harris got knocked out by Victor Ortiz. On the undercard, Keith Thurman was on the undercard. So everyone was getting knocked out. And then, you know, I'm not a knockout puncher. I'm a distance type fighter. So, you know, this fight went the distance. Of course, Mosley was looking for the knockout.
Yeah. So what was your game plan going into this thing?
Not the knockout. It was to win a decision. I mean, but yeah, there you go. I mean, what did people expect? You know, for me to knock out a fighter that's never been knocked out? Shane Mosley has fought the greatest fighters in the last 20 years.
You did something Canelo Alvarez can't do. You put Daniel Jacobs on his ass, Sergio. Don't
yeah,
sell
but
yourself
Jacobs
short.
helped me out. I'm not. Jacobs helped me out by coming in recklessly. So.
All right, here we go. Round 1, scheduled for 12.
Oh, by the way, I want everyone watching to keep a scorecard because I felt that I won this fight pretty convincingly. It was debated. A lot of people thought I lost. A lot of people felt that I won. A lot of people felt that a draw was the right decision. So everyone at home, please keep a scorecard. And you too, Todd, please.
Okay. I've got you winning handily right now.
Well, the number one thing with Mosley is to have his feet set. He's a very hard puncher. The thing that surprised me about Mosley when we started clinching is how strong he is. He's like a little refrigerator. He's compact and strong, and he benches like over 300 pounds, and he's like 5'8". I mean, he's just very, very, very strong, compact fighter. So that's the first thing I noticed. So obviously, I didn't want to exchange with him. So as you could see, I was moving, not letting his feet.
Well, it's got to be somewhat hard to be this patient when you've got that crowd really buzzing.
Well, not for me. You know, like you mentioned earlier, I'm not a knockout puncher, so I'm not used to the roar of the crowd and the knockouts.
Bro, you were sponsored by Lumber Liquidators, bro. Don't F with Sergio Mora.
$1 billion company, baby.
They really took off with your sponsorship too. I mean,
you know, I never had a problem getting sponsors. I made a lot of money on sponsors. You know, just for a patch on the shorts and a shirt here and there.
Yeah.
I probably made more money in sponsorship than you did in commentating your whole life.
Really? That's hurtful, Sergio. It's a middle of a coronavirus depression here, man. I'm scraping by. They offered me $20 to do this with you. I won't even pay for the beer I'm drinking. All right? I couldn't even afford to get a babysitter. You hear my kids screaming in the background?
I can hear you.
Let's watch this fight. Have you thrown a punch yet, by the way?
No, probably not. You know, the game.
That's why, among other reasons, Mosley was installed as a 3-to-1
On me.
favorite in Las Vegas where betting is legal. But,
The game plan was not to let Mosley plant his feet. So, you know, I knew these early rounds he was going to try to land something big. So I wanted to just keep feinting. I wanted to keep keeping him off that big punch. So you could see Mosley gets really jittery when he's about to punch. All his fights, he's like that. He does this little jittery, and he's like, he can't wait to go out there and punch really hard. So, you know, I had to give him some feints myself, get that jittery off him. So we were both a little jittery there, but yeah, I think he won that round. Just on me not doing anything.
Right. Well, plus you were always in the back foot. Judges typically like the guy who's the aggressor when it comes down to a close round.
Well, if that's the case, I would have lost every fight in my career, Todd. I mean, I win off my back foot too, buddy.
Round, Sergio, a close round where the judges like it go either way, they might give it to the guy who's pushing the tempo. Would they not?
Not necessarily, but yeah, if you were a judge.
If I was a judge. Dazn Richardson in the corner of Sugar Shane Mosley. You got a good story about him for us?
Man, who doesn't have great stories about Dazn Richardson? He's just, he's the famous quote man. Anytime you talk to him, you just got to listen for the quote. Swim without getting wet, baby.
Teddy Atlas is good at that stuff too. Put water in the basement.
Nazim's a little bit more creative, but yeah, Teddy's up there too.
135 pounds, 147, 154, and then back.
God, you look so skinny. You look so gross. You look better now, man. Your body looks so much better now.
I only fought at
look
154 3 times. 3 times I fought at 154. Twice against Vernon Forrest and once against this man. I'm not a 154 pounder, Todd. I'm a 160, 165. You know, normally I weigh around, 170.
That's what you're walking around at right now, 170?
No, man, I'm on quarantine weight right now. I'm like 180.
How's that going with your children, by the way? Falling even more in love with them, I bet, right?
No comment.
Oh, God, it's a challenge. All right, I'm waiting for something to happen here, Sergio, so I can get excited. I'm gonna drink like I'm in a deep depression. This is supposed to perk me up.
Wait a long time. Wait.
Oh God! All right. Well, hey, it's a chess match. That's what we say. It's a chess match. Who's gonna bend to the other person's will or gameplay?
I should have asked to do this with Chris Manders.
Oh yeah. Read his. They sent me an article about him. His description of this fight. I believe he said it was very, 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 very slow.
Let him go, Sergio. Let him go.
Mosley is such a decorated.
Oh, there you go. Fight dirty, Sergio. I like it.
Here's an interesting fact.
What's that thing wrapped around your knee?
Mora turned pro 2 months after Mosley.
I had a bad knee, so I just I put that pressure thing to kind of put pressure on it.
You sure it's not one of those police GPS trackers when you're on house arrest?
So what was the odds of being 10 years ago that you would have ever thought you'd see these guys here? Absolutely.
Well, it was a home fight for you, Los Angeles. How far did you have to drive to get to Staples Center from your house?
20 minutes.
Where you grew up? Yeah? Wow.
20 minutes, yeah. Not far from East LA,
Right.
Staples Center.
What's giving Mosley trouble right now is not Mora's hands, it's his feet. It's the back and forth.
Is this going about how you thought it was going
Shane
to go?
Mosley. Yeah, I mean, I knew that the first early rounds were just going to be me tiring them out, make them miss, not letting them get comfortable, obviously not get hit with something big, but frustrate them. And that's exactly what the game plan was the first half of the fight. Frustrate them, try to get at least, a couple of rounds in. If I can win 2 rounds out of the first 5, that was the game plan. And then the second half of the fight, I wanted to win every round after that. But I had to watch out early for that early power of Mosley.
Did you think his age was going to be a factor?
No. I mean, he knocked out Antonio Margarito, a man that's never been knocked out 1 year prior to this. He had just finished fighting Floyd Mayweather the fight before this. So, him knocking out Margarito was a big deal. That was huge. I had a little worry in there. I was curious to see how hard he punched, and he punched hard. I mean, he didn't really connect solidly, but when he would hit me on the shoulder, on the neck, on the elbow, I could see how hard he punched. But what surprised me about Mosley is how strong he was on the inside, like maneuvered me around. That's what really shocked me. And then afterwards, when they asked Mosley, who were the best fighters he ever fought, he gave me credit on one of them. He said, hey, one of the fastest feet was, Sergio. I couldn't really pin him down. He had fast feet. He always had me guessing and those feints. So that was part of the game plan. That's something that worked out, the feints, but you don't get points for feinting. But if you notice, I'm always
coming into this fight.
I'm always
Mosley came off a loss to Floyd Mayweather Jr., but as you know, he had Floyd in a little bit of trouble in the first couple rounds, and now Mosley's running you down.
That's the only time I've ever seen Mayweather get hurt. That's the only time I visited and seen Floyd Mayweather get hurt. So credit to him. So he knocked out Margarito, and then he's the first one, probably the only one, to ever visibly not, kind of shake up Mayweather.
Rattle him, yeah.
Of course, I had to watch out.
Yeah, Mayweather was
I
holding
don't
on
want it.
after that, and I believe they ran out of time in the round, and Mosley might have put him down. Who knows? So we're in the middle of round
Mosley
3
has that-
here, Sergio.
Oh, well, the last round, I thought Mosley won that one, too.
have to watch these heads coming together because Mosley is trying to get inside instead of using his jab.
See, I didn't expect to win the early rounds either. See, those are good body shots right there. Earlier, it was good jabs. I'm trying to focus on the body right now. You know, because when you're dealing with an older fighter, you know, you want to just concentrate on the body. Those jabs right there, just keep concentrating on the body and make and miss, which I was successful at doing. See, right there, Mosley tried to set me up with that big right hand.
He's in line. Their heads could clash, and if their heads do clash, it's probably going to be Mora.
So knowing that I gave up the first 2 rounds, you can see that I'm getting slightly more aggressive here, throwing a couple more punches, and I'm keeping Mosley on the back foot.
Switching style. He was nailed with a right hand lead by Mosley when he became a lefty. Now the other thing is, Dazn, the uppercut from
The crowd's starting to turn on you here.
Sergio does have a good.
I'm used to that.
If you're in the WWE, you'd be what we call a heel, Sergio.
I was born a heel, Todd, and this ain't the WWE, buddy. This is boxing. You know, the thing about
the
boxing,
WWE is
man,
much more exciting than this fight.
The thing about boxing, you're only one fight away from a big fight. One big win away from $1 million.
Well, this was a big fight. I mean,
I
looking
think
back, you say Vernon
I
Forrest
think
was
I
your
won that one.
biggest fight. You say that Vernon Forrest was your biggest fight. It may have been to you, but as far as worldwide recognition and attention, I would have to say this was probably your biggest, if not maybe your Daniel Jacobs fight.
Worldwide recognition was an 8-round fight at the Staples Center with Peter Manfredo on the rematch, or Peter Manfredo at Caesar's Palace. I mean, on the Contender, it was a reality show. It was seen around the world. That was my biggest fight.
Right. But, well, when you say the word big, it comes from this guy's a Hall of Famer you're fighting right here. I mean, I know that the selection hasn't come out yet, but I'm assuming Peter Manfredo is not going to make it to Canastota, New York.
I don't think he'll make the Providence
Just a guess.
Hall of Fame.
All right, so we're in round 4. You've got it 2 rounds to 1 for Mosley. What are you doing differently now? You step like what? Ooh, there's a big right hand, Sergio.
I landed a good right hand right there. I'm telling you, I'm trying to take my shot. I can't engage with Shane Mosley. You just mentioned he's a Hall of Famer. He's a big puncher. He's one of the biggest punchers at lightweight. So he's moving up. He just knocked out. He was the only man to knock out Margarito. He almost dropped Mayweather. So I have that in my mind, and I'm trying to feel him out. I don't want to go in there and exchange with him and get knocked out. This is a fight that I knew I was going to win. I was very confident, but I had to just be very strategic about it and take him to the later rounds and tire him out. You know, one thing that I got to throw out there that we're not going to see in here, you know, I wanted to see how my body was going to react as well, because I dropped a lot of weight for this fight, and then, like you mentioned earlier, I was 3 overweight, and I was like, see, that's good body shots right there on the inside, but a lot of people don't see those little sneaky body shots. So I didn't know how my body was going to react. So I wanted to get out of these early rounds and see how strong I felt. But right here, I'm already feeling it. See those little sneaky body shots in there, Todd? I don't know if you're looking at them.
No, you hit him with a couple uppercuts, too.
They're sneaky little body shots. They're not as sexy as the right hands and the punches that make your head jolt back. But when you're in there, you can feel those little punches, man. I mean, Mosley gave me credit for this fight. He thought this fight was a draw. He didn't say he won after the fight. The fighter says, oh, I thought it was a draw. That means he lost the fight. You ask me, 100%. I knew I
So he's
was
been
fighting.
the exception coming
You're
down.
holding now. Step
I
back.
would agree with that.
Step.
You
Hold it.
look at the fights with Ricky Wright. He was too small for Ricky Wright, and he still out-hustled and did very well. But he was able to come
You
back.
that
The
left
sneaky
uppercut.
uppercut right
That's been a
there.
good punch for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they get up, they can't make it back.
I got a cut right there on a headbutt. There's an accidental headbutt right there. But that's something I'm very used to. There's a nice right hand right there. I landed over the top.
There's a good right hand by Moore with some respect from Mosley. And now the
This is your best round.
Sergio Mora has a terrible cut from the headbutt.
You know, Mosley looks like he's getting a little
David
frustrated
Von
too.
Temple said that I had. Did you hear that, Todd? That Dave Von Temple, the legend, said I had a terrible cut. It wasn't that terrible, but
Key thing now is how
it was a cut. Against Peter Manfredo, that was a terrible cut. I have this fight 2-2, Todd. How do you have it?
The first two were his. The third one, I didn't feel like I judged closely enough. I'll be generous and give it to Mosley. I got 3-1 Mosley.
All right.
This was the only round where I was like, yes, you won. You might have won the last round. The other two, I thought Mosley. Little cut there.
Headbutt.
Not bad. Nothing.
You know, I must have got cut in my career, I would say eight, 9 times by 6, 7 different opponents. And all of them except one were headbutts. They're all headbutts. I can't remember the only fighter that cut me with a punch. I don't remember. And it was on the cheek, I think. But yeah, all the lacerations I had on my eyebrows, which were many, they're all headbutts. But it was because of my style. I went southpaw. I switched a lot, so I had a lot of upper body movement. And when you have a lot of upper body movement, you're bound to get a headbutt. Like right here, I'm southpaw, so I switch orthodox and lefty often. Look, like I just did right there.
Where were you, at what stage of your career would you say you were at your peak? When were you at your very best?
That's a good question. I would say the last, let me see, right here, I was 29, 30 years old. So between 27 and 31 were my peak years.
Yeah.
Where I had my man strength.
That's about right.
I had my man strength. I had the experience. I knew I belonged with the best. I won a title. I lost the title. So yeah, between 27 and 31, I think that was my peak. And it's funny, you know, it's my peak, but I also, you know, I had 2 losses, controversial, and then I had this draw, but it was still what I felt was my peak.
So if you could go back and refight this, what would you have done differently in the early rounds?
Man, that's a great question, Todd, because this fight right here kills me, man. It really, really, really gets to me. It sits bad on me. So anyone that asks me what's your worst fight or what regret, it's this one right here. Because there was so much more I could have done in this fight, but I respected Shane Mosley too much. And in boxing, you're not supposed to respect your opponent, no matter how legendary they are. You know, Shane is the living legend, but that's what happens when you're in there facing a legend. You respect them a little bit too much. So I think I should have got a little bit more aggressive in the final 5 rounds. You know, not knowing that I had this fight in the bag, and I think that's a big regret.
So you really thought you had this fight in the bag?
Oh yeah. I mean, look, you could always see the bravado coming out of me, like the confidence, the swag, the snake coming out of me.
Yeah, but you're not landing anything big. What are you getting excited about? There's
the thing. Here's the thing, Todd. You don't need to land something to feel it. I'm just feeling it. I'm dancing, baby. This is when it started.
You're celebrating. You're celebrating your feints. That's what you're excited about. Whoa, look at that feint. Woo, I didn't hit it there either. Whoa, little book. You're like that kid that runs away from the boy in the playground, and when he's far enough away, you go, yeah, what are you going to do about it?
I'm not going to tell you about that round, but I'm going to keep it here. You say you write yours, I'll write mine. People at home,
all right,
please judge it.
A couple of icons here in Los Angeles.
Oh, Magic Johnson and Oscar. Now, when you're sitting on the stool in between the corner, when you're not getting advice, you're just trying to catch your breath. Are you scanning the crowd at Staples Center to see who's there?
No fighter does that. No, you're full of adrenaline. You're worried about the guy.
What are you talking about? Apollo Creed? Apollo? I've seen Floyd Mayweather winking and yelling at people. Adrian Broder does it all the time.
That's them. That's not me. And Floyd Mayweather, of course, he does it. He's one of the greatest fighters in the last, 20 years?
Hey, maybe that's what you needed to do. Start scanning the crowd, bro. And stop celebrating your feints.
Stop celebrating.
All right, here we go. Round 6 of 12. Almost at the halfway point. You're still going backwards. Had you thought about fighting him for a long time, or did this fight just kind of turn up out of the blue?
No. It turned up out of the blue. They offered Richard Schaefer at Golden Boy, who was at Golden Boy at that time. He called me in for a meeting to brainstorm about my next fight, and he said, "Sergio, what do you think about fighting Shane Mosley?" I said, "Sign it." I didn't even ask how much. I didn't even ask about the money. I wanted to fight. It was after losing my title. I wasn't getting the fights that I thought I deserved. So when he offered me a legend, I took it. I didn't even ask about the money. It was good money, but I didn't ask about it. He was surprised.
Well, you lost 75 grand of it. Don't
my...
forget that. Could have been even better.
Thanks for reminding me, Todd.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for.
But I remember Richard
my daughter's trying to get food behind me. Come here. You want to see? Look, Uncle Sergio's on here. She just got out of the swimming pool. She needs someone to go to sleep to her and put this fight on and put this fight on and send her to bed. Bye, baby.
There you go. That's a good one. She looks like one of the girls from
back in here.
Did you hear that, Todd? Red rum. Good body shot right there. You missed it, Todd.
No, I saw his.
Good left hook right there, Todd. Come on now.
Yeah, he's swinging and missing.
You know that Doug Fisher is one of the guys calling this fight right here, right?
Right.
He thought I won this fight.
Well, what did Jim Lampley have to say? He called it for HBO. What things did he say about it? If we're going to call out broadcasters, what do you
Nothing good. Nothing good. Jim Lampley gave up on me in the third round, I believe.
Really?
He's the one coming forward. Aggression be perceived as effective aggression. So even though Mora has outboxed him, maybe it's 4 rounds to 2 instead of 6 rounds.
Yeah, that's the Rocky Balboa to Ivan Drago uppercut body shots. I like those. I'm giving you that round, Sergio.
I'm keeping my scorecard. You keep yours. Everybody at home.
Tell me that.
Everybody at home, whether you like me or you despise me, keep a scorecard and try to be as open and neutral as possible. Because I won this fight. As ugly as it was, I won this fight.
That sounds very neutral. That's very neutral of you to say. You can hear Richardson saying you got to corral him.
Dude, Nazim Richardson talked to me afterwards. You know, the fights that I lost, the trainers told me I won. Nazim Richardson was one of them. Ronnie Shields, when I lost with Brian Vera, came up to him and says, "You won that fight." I mean, come on, man. When my opponent's trainers tell me I won the fight, but the judges didn't. That's
You
boxing.
got in trouble one time for yelling at a judge, did you not? Tell us that story.
Adelaide Bird. Adelaide Bird, yeah, the famous Adelaide Bird. You know, she's in a lot of controversial decisions. Yeah, when I fought Alfredo Angulo in my last fight, I thought I won that fight easily, handily, you know, unanimously, and it was a split decision. So she made me feel like I was gonna lose. She gave the fight to Alfredo Angulo. The other two judges gave it to me, but she made me sweat for that decision.
All right, so these are the rounds that you said you were going to kind of turn it up a little bit. You were going to not give away some of the early rounds, but you predicted you'd lose at least 3 of the 5.
Yeah, there's a nice right hand right there, Todd. I know you caught it. And can you ask your kids to keep it down too, please?
Yeah, hey guys, can you zip it? I'm watching a boring fight in here, okay? I need to focus. Yes, please be quiet, for real. You know, people at home, we were supposed to watch this yesterday, but Sergio's kids were there, so I had to do it today with my kids here. There's random children walking around my kitchen. This girl isn't even mine. This girl right here, don't even know who this is. Random people.
She might be yours, Todd.
Guys, for real, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go turn on the TV. Get out of here, please.
You didn't even see the body shot in the defensive move right there.
I'm sure it was a great feint, Sergio. It was a great feint.
It was a body shot. I ducked back.
Ooh. This is good
Look at that
work,
body
for
shot
real.
right there.
I liked it.
I'm like a matador in there. You gotta give Shane Mosley credit. He fought maybe the toughest fighters back to back to back to back. He fought Antonio Margarito and Floyd Mayweather before this fight, and then after me fought Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez. Nobody was able to knock him out. So what they expect me to do?
Well, I believe one of your pre-fight quotes was, "I'm going to do something no one else could do," right? I'm going to do something De La Hoya couldn't do, right? I'm going to do something Floyd Mayweather couldn't do. What was that?
Beat him convincingly.
Okay.
I didn't say Floyd Mayweather. I said De La Hoya.
Oh, okay. Well, Floyd Mayweather couldn't beat him, so that's something.
He beat him convincingly though, but
yeah,
he beat him convincingly. He got you know that one time he got rocked.
Right.
This is a Sergio Mora round as it comes to an end.
So I'm not going to ask you how you have this scored so far, but in the ring, as you go back to your corner, how do you think you're doing in the moment?
That's a good question because I felt I was winning the fight pretty easily and convincingly.
Really?
But when I go back to the corner, my trainer wasn't happy. But he wasn't really telling me I was losing either. So, you know, this is the first time after this fight that I got upset with my trainer. And, you know, after 20 years together, you know, for one fight after this, I didn't have him in my corner. As an amateur, as a pro, because I was upset with him because, yeah, this was a fight where, you know, he didn't show no urgency in my eyes. And he didn't tell me, hey, man, listen, you might be losing. You need to pick it up. These are close rounds. You're not winning convincingly. Even though you think you're winning, you're not winning. None of that. Nothing was urgent. But here's the thing. He's not an urgent type guy. So when we talk about it afterwards, he's like, have I ever yelled at you? Dean Campos is my trainer's name. When have I ever yelled at you, Sergio? When have I ever cussed at you? When have I ever been urgent? He goes, you know what? You're right, Dean. And I apologized to him afterwards because that's not our chemistry. That's not our, you know, I know when I'm winning. He knows when I'm winning. We can read each other. I didn't need him to be someone he's not. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Whenever a fighter loses, he blames his trainer or he blames the judges or he has someone to blame. And for me, even though I didn't lose this fight, I had to blame my trainer.
Well, why can you blame yourself for coming in 3 pounds overweight?
I didn't come overweight. See, that's the thing. I wasn't
So you're
overweight.
saying the scale was broken by 3 pounds?
I don't know what happened, but I wasn't overweight. I was on weight 1 week before fight. And 3 other fighters on the B side, the opponent side of this card, were overweight. Vivian Harris, Carlos Baldomir, and one other fighter, I forget. So it was 3 of us overweight. It wasn't just me. And Shane Mosley at his highest ever, too, at 154 on the dot. So, I mean, I'm not saying it was a faulty scale. All I'm saying is there was something, I don't know, whatever. It's in the past.
So it wasn't a faulty scale. Maybe some little
gremlins
gremlins got in there and messed it up.
It cost me a lot of
Either
money.
way.
Yep. Something happened. You're telling me I lost 3 pounds in 20 minutes? That's how long it took me to come back and weigh in for the official scale. I weighed in at 157. I disappeared for 25 minutes max.
Did you go to the bathroom? Max. Did you have like a huge like lobster lunch you had to get out of here?
No. I literally went back to the hotel and jumped on the treadmill for 15 minutes. I came back and I was 3 pounds less. That's physically impossible. Nazim Richardson actually made a big deal out of it. He told the commission, he goes, there's no way he lost 3 pounds in 20 minutes. And I agree with Nazim Richardson. I don't agree that I lost 3 pounds in 20 minutes. But that's
so what did they say when you came back on weight? What did they say?
They still fined me because in California, if you're 3 pounds, it was 3.5 pounds that I was overweight. California has a ridiculous rule that if you're over 3 pounds, they're still going to fine you 20%, whether you come back and make the weight, which is ridiculous because then why should I have gone and made the weight if I already got fined for the 20% of my purse? So not only did I get fined 20%, but I still made the weight. Ridiculous, man. So all the psychological mind, you know the word I want to say.
He gets your 20%, right? He got your 75.
Yeah.
Right?
He did. So but
if Nazim Richardson really believed that, he'd be like, here's your 75 grand back, Sergio. So he didn't believe you that much. All right, that
was a pretty close round.
That's what I was thinking. Nobody jumped out at me, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'll just give
I'm gonna give it to him because it was a close round.
Okay. Should I tell you where I'm at right now, or do you want to know?
No. Save it. People at home, save it.
Okay. Let me just put it to you this way. You better close strong, my friend.
I shall finish the game. I shall finish the game, Todd. What movie is that, Todd Grisham? I shall finish the game.
Is it Triple H from WWE? Time to play the game.
Young Guns.
Emilio Estevez. Call me Young Guns. Bon Jovi. Did you hear Bontempo? Sergio Mora's dominance really echoing. Thank you, Dave Bontempo, a man who's been in the business over 50 years. He knows what he's watching. You know, I talked to Dave Bontempo the other day. I was down in Florida, called him to see if any of the horse tracks were open yet. He said no, but he had all the odds for all the fights. This guy's a huge horse racing fanatic, and he loves boxing.
Love Dave. I gave him a nickname, Blue-Eyed Soul, because he's a hell of a karaoke singer and he could dance.
Yeah. Great.
Unlike you. Unlike you, Todd.
Which part?
Both. You have 2 left feet, and I've heard you sing. Actually, you're entertaining in karaoke. You're entertaining in karaoke. You just can't sing.
Now, see, I can dance. You just don't like the way I dance. It's different.
Well, you dance really stiff. You dance like...
Really? I can kind of... I mean,
yeah.
I can take it to doing yoga. A lot of infighting in this film. You had a reach advantage, I'm sure, correct?
Yeah, but I didn't need it because I felt that I could fight him in the inside. I've already, at this point, I already felt his strength. I know that he was strong inside, but I knew that he couldn't hit me with a power punch. So I even told my trainer in one of these rounds, I said, is it okay if I stop moving and fight him in the inside? He said, yes. So that's one thing that I did start following the instructions from him. He goes, you're beating him in the inside. Okay. So he gave me the green light to stay against the ropes, and like that, fight him in the inside. You know, I got him with a right uppercut, left hook right there.
Close round. All the rounds are close, really. There's only been one or two where I'm like, that guy definitely won the round.
Yes, Todd. That's why this fight ended up being a draw.
He just doesn't know how to go about doing what he needs to do to get to his opponent.
And you know what? Look, I'm going to stay neutral here, too. Not for nothing.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, I am. Not
You already
for
said
nothing.
the scale was rigged. You've already thrown everyone under the bus. You said it was your trainer's fault. I'm here to stay neutral.
No one deserved to win this fight. If you want me to be completely honest, no one deserved to win this fight. No one took control of the fight, even though I won that round right there.
I mean, it's a close round, Sergio. I don't know.
It was a bad style matchup. You know, he was a power puncher. I'm a clean boxer. I don't engage. I'm a pot shotter. It was one of these fights where it's just a bad clash of styles, you know, and I was not going to engage with him. And aside from all that, I was fighting myself with that weight loss. I don't know how my legs were going to react in the later rounds. So I was trying to preserve myself without.
You said he was strong, but now that you've fought him and you could go back, would you have stood toe-to-toe with him for some exchanges every now and then?
No. I still wouldn't have stood toe-to-toe, but I would have gotten more aggressive. There's a famous saying in boxing, and I'm sure you never heard of it because you're a wrestling guy. You know, I was trying not to lose instead of winning. Instead of trying to win the fight, I was trying not to lose this fight, and it showed.
For the record, that phrase is not boxing specific. I've heard that all the time. There's some teams that play to win, and there's teams that play not to lose. You know, if a football team has the ball late fourth quarter, some of them try to get real conservative and tighten up. Other teams keep banging down the field.
And guess what happens when they tighten up? They give up the lead. I don't believe in that giving up the lead, and I would never do it again. You asked me what I would do back here. I would still start the fight careful like I did, but I would have started more aggressive earlier. That's it. That's the only thing I would have did. Other than that, I would have still been the same old snake. I wouldn't have done anything different. Because if I would have went toe-to-toe with a power puncher, I would have gotten knocked out. And what's the point of winning a fight and then one punch changes everything? Because Mosley has that eraser. He can knock you out with one punch.
You're absolutely right.
Right, you haven't really been buzzed in this fight yet, have you?
I didn't get buzzed. He didn't hurt me once in this fight. I think I caught his attention. I don't think I hurt Mosley. I don't think nobody has hurt Mosley. He has granite chin, and he's just one of the toughest fighters out there. But I know that I got his respect. I know that. Good, nice right hand right there. Hand.
Oh, nice. There's that uppercut.
Yep.
Nice.
Look at it. Look at the uppercut left hook right there. See?
And you're being
so now I'm backing up Shane. This fight picks up in the last 4 rounds. What round is it? Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
I like this version of Sergio. The crowd's kind of responding a little bit.
That was a nice hook that Mora landed, and Mosley sort of walked into it, sleepwalked into it almost.
Boy, how did you know to slip that right hand? I mean, that one again.
Instinct, Todd. Instinct. I mean, when you've been doing this so long, every boxer has this type of instinct. All defensive fighters have that instinct. You know, whenever you train, and if you're a defensive-minded fighter like I am, once you throw 1 or 2 punches, you're already thinking about defense. You don't do 1, 2, 3. You know, no, you think 1, defense. 1, 2, defense. 1, 2, defense. It's always defense. So that's the defensive mind. Offensive-minded fighters, which are the exciting fighters, the fighters that you and, you know, the majority of boxing fans like to see, they don't think about ducking or what's coming back. I'm gonna kill you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're going after the kill. That's why they're fun to watch, obviously, but they're also the ones that don't last long, and the ones that get clipped a lot.
I like that round for you, Sergio. I like that round a lot.
Hear what my trainer said right there?
What'd he say?
Someone outside in the corner told me that you're losing this fight. So now this is the first time where I heard I'm losing the fight, and this time Dean actually told me, pick it up, you're not winning. So what, we're going into the championship round, and this is the first time I feel urgency in a round that I thought I won. So it was just, it was there's a lot of things going on in this fight. It just, like I said, if I could take it back, it'll be different. But hindsight's 20/20, man, and we can't do that.
I'm sure he would say something different too. He would have fought it differently too.
Oh, Shane?
Yeah.
Next time you see Shane Mosley, ask him if he thought he won this fight. Shane Mosley, I love him, man.
I'm saying if he had to refight this fight over again, I'm sure he would make some changes too.
Oh, yeah. No, Shane's great, man, because he doesn't admit that he won this fight. He says, yeah, you know, a draw was the right decision. That's what he says. You ask me, I won the fight.
How's your cardio at this point?
Great, man. My cardio was never affected. See, and that's the thing. The first half of this fight, I was worried about that weight that I lost. So I was wondering how it was going to impact me in the second half of the fight. But mind you, that's how I lost my title, Todd. I beat Burning Forest, and then 3 months later, I lost 28 pounds in 2.5 months, and I had no legs. Burning Forest could have stopped me, could have ended me, could have knocked me out, but he didn't. But I remember how that felt. I had no energy. So I thought the same thing was going to happen here since I was so, depleted. But when the 6th, 7th round came and my legs were still there, my strength was still there, I was like, all right, well, it's on now. And that's when I picked up the fight. But it was the early round, the first half of the fight, where I technically lost the fight or didn't win the rounds. See, Shane,
like
what
you
he's
mentioned
doing
earlier,
right,
it's a
go ahead.
like you were saying earlier, you're doing a lot of good work on the inside, but a lot of times that goes unnoticed because you're in such close quarters. The cameras don't pick it up. The judges can't see it.
But the opponent feels it, and the people sitting, the judges see it. And the thing is, the inside fighting is an art, man. Once Dean, my trainer, gave me the green light to start fighting on the inside and staying and fighting off the rope, I felt comfortable doing it, and I felt I was winning the inside fight. That's the reason I kept staying on the inside. But it's an art. I love fighting on the inside. For being a tall, skinny guy, I love staying on the inside. Look, check, left uppercut right there, left hook right there.
Yeah, these late round. Ooh, there's a good right hand by Mosley. Oh, another one. Uh-oh.
Because I'm staying in the inside fighting, right? Because I'm in the inside fighting, which is what you wanted. It clipped.
Oh, we got
But
you
I still,
again, Sergio.
But I still think that the majority of the round was me. Man, when you see my scorecard, Todd, pick up the pace. Look, nothing's changed, man. I'm scoring my own card. I'm scoring my own fight right here, and nothing has changed.
I'm gonna be honest.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be honest. I gave him that round. He finished stronger.
I thought I won that round. That's the thing about closing a round. You only remember the last part of the round. See that right hand missed. That left hook landed. That's why it's always good to finish strong instead of beginning strong, because that's what the last thing that stays on your mind, finishing strong in the round.
Well, that's what Sugar Ray Leonard did to Hagler.
Marvin Hagler.
He just finished him up the last 10 seconds, every round. Looked great.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Shane Mosley and Sergio Mora top it up. Mosley 46-6. Mora 22-1-1.
So you enter this round thinking what?
147 and 154.
Well, at this time, I already got scolded by my corner. I was looking at my family out in the crowd, and they're like, "You gotta pick it up. You gotta pick it up." So at this time, there was already urgency from the collection of people telling me that I was losing the fight. So by this time, I didn't want to lose no more rounds. So from the 9th round on, I think I won at least 3 out of the 4. So right here, Mosley's getting a lot more aggressive. Not landing, but getting aggressive.
What did Harold Letterman have this score? Do you remember?
No. One judge gave it to me, and then I forget.
So I just meant HBO's judge. A lot of times fans can be affected by the commentary. We've seen that over and over again. And the HBO guys were basically saying Mosley was doing all the good work.
Letterman, you mean? Letterman gave it to Mosley, I believe.
Yeah.
Harold Letterman gave it to Mosley. Jim Lampley obviously gave every minute of every round to Shane Mosley. Larry Merchant also thought I lost the fight.
Well, it obviously wasn't the most exciting fight, but you guys are still putting in good work, and you guys are working.
Yeah, like I said, the last 4 rounds of this fight, it wasn't, war, it wasn't action-packed, but have you heard the crowd boo one time, Todd?
Yes, in like round 4 when I said the crowd's getting restless, Sergio.
I only heard the crowd boo one time. That was early. Yeah, I believe it was the 4th round.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at the shot from the inside right there. But I've been in fights where you can literally hear everyone in unison booing all at once and more than once. I mean, I literally didn't get booed in this fight, even though it wasn't a pretty fight. But I don't remember getting booed out of the stage, even when I was fighting. Like Mosley's winning this round, so I'm already giving it to him.
Oh, nice 1-2 by you.
Well, it's 6-3 actually, but okay. Look at those shots right there. Boom, boom. They're just little clean shots. Look, right there. That ain't that fighting. All right, Todd.
There you have it.
Well, exactly how I felt during the fight is exactly how I scored it on my scorecard, literally. I have this fight 8-4. 8-4.
I have this fight.
I won this fight unanimously on my scorecard.
I have this fight 7-5, Sugar Shane Mosley.
Congrats, I'll never buy you a round of drinks ever again.
That's really going to hurt me.
All right, so you
again, there was
at
least. Listen, hold on. There was at least 3 rounds in there that could have gone either way. Where I'm like, I don't know. Some of those mid rounds, one of the early rounds, they were too close to definitively say who won. So I could have if I give you those 2 rounds, then you win 7-5. You know what I mean?
Well, there you go. That's exactly what this fight was, a stalemate, because no one clearly deserved it. And that I agree. Even though I felt I won and all the above, no one deserved to win this fight.
How would you describe the trajectory of your career after this fight ended?
Can you see that? The trajectory was bad. Everyone turned against me. I remember afterwards hearing, HBO executives saying they'll never have me on again. my manager at that time, Cameron Duncan, who only managed me for 2 fights. He said, "Hey man, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do with you afterwards." So I said, "All right, well let's part ways then." He goes, "Okay." So he let me go.
Wow. After getting a draw against a Hall of Famer.
Yes,
Here we go.
my promoter, Golden Boy, did the same after this fight. They said, "Hey man, listen, I don't know where we can go from here. HBO won't have you on anymore. I think we're going to let you out of the contract." Yeah, man, the trajectory was low. It took a lot for me to come back from this, and it was all me, nobody else. No promoter, no manager. It's just this. I came back for a world title. I came back to do what I do.
David Denkin scores it 116-112 for Mosley.
David Denkin, 116-112.
114-114, a three-way split. This bout officially is a draw.
There you go.
So
Watch your
David
career
Denkin,
crash and burn, kid. 10 years from now, you're going to be sitting in your house drinking cheap beer, doing an internet show with Todd Grisham. Way to go.
I love it, man. I love my career. If I could take this night back, I would, but I can't. I have on my marbles 20 years as a professional, never seriously hurt. Made a lot of money, thank God. The only bad part is I get to work with you.
Hey, I enjoyed it, my friend. Everyone will certainly sleep well tonight. Thanks for watching Saturday Fight Live here on Dazn. For The Stake, I'm Todd Grisham.